All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Chat with Charlie.
And my co-host is Dr. P.
What's going on, Charlie?
Nothing much, guys. What's up?
Breathe, Charlie.
I agree 100%.
Let me just be clear here. He does not agree with everything I say.
Not everything.
Hey, Charlie, it's time for your one-on-one.
I do it for fun.
Fun?
No lollygag.
We are in the people business.
Have to have the right person.
The game is not over.
Because I want to beat everybody. I just want to be me. Chat with Charlie and Paulette.
Yay!
It's going to be a good 2-3. I'm going to enjoy it. We may have to cut this out, Mark.
No.
All right, guys. Welcome to another edition of Chat with Charlie. I'm your host, Charlie, with my lovely co-host, Dr. Paulette Thomas.
I'm back.
Collins.
Hey, guys.
She is back.
I'm back.
On 1,000.
And who we got on the couch here? Wait a minute here.
Everybody should know him.
Come on now.
Nobody know me, yo. I'll be chilling. I'll be in the cut.
Why don't you formally introduce yourself?
Man, my name is, my biggest claim to fame is I'm Dr. P's friend and Charlie's friend.
Oh.
But
You got the couch right.
You butter up the host first. That's the point. My name is Legin. I'm a rapper, a speaker, and I get to come around and hang out at some of the campuses.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about you is a lot of things. But
Thank you, Charlie.
you got a way of saying you are enough. I was trying to think of the way you put it. And I love it.
Good enough.
Good enough. But it's also energy, whatever adjective you want to put in there. You are good enough.
Thanks, bro.
And I love that. I think it just says so many things with 3 little words or 4 little words or whatever it is.
It
So
does.
it's kind of cool, man.
Yeah,
I need
man.
some product. That's my plug for some product.
I got
Some
you.
merch.
I got a couple shirts left.
I need some
actually.
merch over here.
I got a couple shirts left. I got you.
No, we're really happy to have you. You do
Thanks,
a lot
bro.
of things, and for us, you know, our audience is staff members. A lot of people in sales.
Nice.
A lot of people need motivation. A lot of A-type personalities.
Okay.
But we always come up with some
That's
different
helpful.
topics. I do
We
have a
do.
topic I want to talk about today. It's a
do.
book. I actually read a book.
Yeah?
Did you?
Yeah, you slow down.
Were there words in it?
Yeah, I may have got the summary, but I did.
I do picture books. That's what I was asking. Illustrations.
But I do have a topic that I think is right up your alley. I want to talk about. I know it's up Paulette's alley. But first,
Yes.
my co-host makes this show go. And you know what I screwed up, Mark? This is our 20th show of season 2. You believe that, my man?
I thought you were at 15. I was just talking to my wife on the way here. So I think they're like 15, but that's amazing.
20.
20.
And
20.
I feel like we're getting better and better.
We are. Of
course you
we
are.
Egotistically, but
Like,
No, we are.
do you
It's
know
like
what we're
fine
doing?
wine.
You know what we're doing in Vegas in January?
no, what's that?
A live show.
Yes.
There you go.
A
In
live
Vegas.
show.
Why can't they do it when I'm there? I'm going like in
Come on, man. Come on.
All right,
It's a big town.
I'll
Come
come
on
back.
down.
Yeah, any excuse to get to Vegas, I'm in.
She's gonna be dazzled up.
Of course,
We're gonna
she's
have
always dazzled up.
We're gonna have walk-in music. Each
All
one
that's
of us
dazzled
are
up
gonna
on a Tuesday.
she blowing up.
Yes, thanks.
It's really nice. I
We
like
have
it.
our own theme music.
For real?
We're going to come out on our theme music.
Yeah? Well, you better do that thing, man. I ain't mad at you.
I
at all.
changed mine. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm bringing it back.
Really?
What's yours?
Old school. I got an old school song, Gangstar song. That's gonna be my
Ooh.
walk.
Bro, what you got?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Don't do that.
I'll tell you after the
Tell me
show. Because
off.
no, I
Yeah.
want it to be surprised.
Man, Charlie was here with the Gangstar and the Primo.
So okay.
Come
let's-
on.
Let's
Come on,
position the
Charlie.
couch for a minute, okay? Because I have some questions, some icebreakers.
Uh-huh.
But that just made me think of a quick icebreaker. So we're having a live taping of a new show, our show, right? Kicking off 2024.
Yeah.
We're both coming out on theme music. What's Charlie's song, Nigel? You guess.
What's Charlie's song?
Yeah, what's his song?
I mean, he said Gangstar, so I wanted to be above the clouds right now. That's what I want.
I was gonna choose Cream. You guys know that?
Yeah, I would give him above the clouds by Gangstar right now.
We'll let you know.
okay,
yeah, please.
okay. What's mine?
I have no idea. I know it's something with Lil Wayne in it.
But
See?
you know he's right.
That's the
But you
second
know
time.
he's right.
Your face let me know that was not for the faculty podcast. I'm sorry. That's the workout list. I'm sorry.
That actually has come out before.
Has it?
Yes.
Okay, because I was not
it
happy.
episode 15 or 16?
I was not looking forward to our
She was
off the
throwing
camera
bars out
conversation.
there. We had a beep, beep, beep.
No, the way she looked at me, I was like, after you cut these mics off, I want to hear some stuff. I ain't ready for this. Man.
Oh,
Come on.
gosh. So it's our top 20.
All right.
And this is our 20th episode.
Nice.
And
Congrats again. That's a big deal, though.
Thank
That's a
you.
big deal.
Thank you. Good job, Charlie.
Knuckles blow. Nice.
That's our
our
right
thing.
there.
All right, cool. I missed it, but I just
That's okay.
on the
We'll
back.
wonder.
But that's our thing though. But you're on the couch, so you're welcome. You're welcome.
Sorry. Dang. That's why we moved down. She used to
Face
sit
this way.
here. I had to move her down. I was like,
I'm gonna talk to
damn.
you, Charlie. I wasn't ready for this.
Have
I've
a
already
shield-
made him mad
have a
by
shield up.
throwing Wayne out there.
I know he was like, I know something with Lil Wayne.
She gonna hit you with one of those hairs. She gonna,
all
"What's up?"
right.
So way her eyebrows looked at me when I threw Wayne out. I'm like, okay, my bad.
Oh,
Thought you
well,
proud of it.
we've gotten to know each other on the couch really well. So welcome to the couch.
Thank you.
Charlie and I, we started this, and it was to speak to the directors of admissions and leadership. I'm working with them, techniques as they lead their teams.
Okay.
And it evolved to more than just leadership. It's truly a representative of who we are. It's community, it's partnership. We've had conversations about some of the attributes of leadership. Whether it be discipline, motivation, communication, camaraderie, so many components of what we do. So it's been a true depiction of who we are. And I've been really thankful to share that with our team. So
That's dope. That's really
thank
good.
you for being on.
And it's extending out. We're getting
Yes.
audience,
Yes.
not from
Perfect.
us now. So now we're starting to expand out, and it's kind of cool.
That's really
Right.
good,
Kinda
man.
cool.
You can serve even outside of your immediate interests, and you just be really helpful beyond the circle. I think that's really dope.
We try to be
I think that's good,
we
man.
do. We
But I mean, that
we
fits the
extend
culture.
ourselves.
That fits the culture of what you guys do here. So that's
100%.
So before you ask your question, Charlie, I do have a question for you.
dope. She said she's first.
For you.
Always.
So tell us a little bit about who you are. And I say that because the schools here in the Hampton Roads area know you very well. Even some of the schools in our surrounding cities, Chicago, you've been to some locations, Dallas and so forth. So for those who don't know you, summarize who you are just briefly. If you give us a quick summary of who you are.
So I'm a husband. I'm a father. My wife and I've been married 17 years.
17 years?
17 years.
Get
yo.
out.
Yeah,
Congrats, man.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
met in 7th grade. Started dating in 12th. I tell everybody my game was so good. It took me 5 years to get her number.
Good
And-
work, man. You
Once
play
she
that
graduated-
long game.
Long game. I was like, look, man, like I know what I want. And now we got an 8th grader and a 5th grader. They're doing great. And so I love music. So like you said, I use my music to at one time just to talk about whatever I wanted, but you know, going through experiences of not feeling good enough, fathers absent, drugs, alcohol, all that. And I had a chance to forgive him right before he died. I now use my music to tell others, hey, I know what it's like to not feel worth it. Like you don't matter. I want you to know that you're good enough. And whether that's from a
Man, you gonna make me tear up, honestly.
that's what I mean, music, man, like is so powerful.
Was that an outlet for you originally?
Yeah.
That
Like
was
even when it was an unhealthy outlet, it was an outlet. Like
Yeah.
originally music was like, oh man, look at all these artists and athletes and celebrities. They got all the girls, they got all the money, they don't have any pain. I want to do whatever they're doing. So you just start rapping about whatever you feel like will bring you some attention. And then like when I went through that, you know, traumatic / healing experience, I was like, man, I want to use my music for good to benefit and lift up other people and not degrade women and not talk about this, whatever. So like that's when music, and it took a religious undertone for me. It was like I really care about getting value out instead of taking value from people for my own gain.
Interesting way to put it. That's good.
So that's what music is about, and that just turned into speaking. So people would be like, "Hey man, I heard what you said in your song. Would you come speak about that?" And I'm like, "Sure, I guess." And my mother was a speech teacher; she trained me to speak, so then I started speaking. And then like, "Would you preach at our church? Would you talk at our school?" And then so now I've just been able to live as a full-time artist and speaker, kind of in my own lane. People would be like, which one do you like better, concerts or speaking? And I'm like, yes.
Because they're both your thing.
They're both my thing. Like I just love doing both. If I had to stop one and only do the other, I'd be fine.
And you write all your own stuff.
Yeah, write all my own stuff.
Own
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I write everything. Yeah. So it's been a privilege, man. So I went and got John Maxwell certified, so that would open up more doors in schools, organizations, prisons. I started doing prisons since 2019, which is great. And I want to do more of those and just give people hope that you still matter. I don't care where you are. And when you get out of here, you're still going to matter. And if you're not leaving here, you still matter.
But you got such a genuine way of putting that.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Paula, I know it's your time. But
No,
you know
you're
you
good.
really do. And I think, I don't know if that's nature or nurture or learned from the past or
Probably
what.
both, yeah.
A little bit of both though, right?
Yeah.
But you can feel it when you talk. It's
Thank
just
you,
not words that I've read from a book. You know what I mean? And,
Well, we
and a
said
lot
it
of
was all
people are
picture
like
books
that.
and stuff like that.
Well, come on, man. Like, bring that all full circle.
Yeah.
But you feel that from when you're on your not only your choice of words, but how you say those words, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's why I think you are versatile in the speaker and the entertainment side with the music and the rap. Yeah.
Well, man, that's the marketing guy. You picked it up because it's like all intentional, right?
Yeah.
Because I for me, it's one of the reasons why when I go somewhere, I do my best to dress like I'm dressed right now. Because I just want to disarm certain things for certain people who might feel like if I come a certain way, that means that you're coming from this place.
Interesting.
And like you said, like how do we want to build the camaraderie, this connection? Like this whole setup is really just a visual representation of my whole philosophy with like speaking of music. It's how
It is too deep. I'm
serious.
I'm gonna throw some jokes and stuff. Make people laugh, and now we're.
But I'll wrap this
I'm gonna
up.
change my walkout music now too.
This whole, I got another Gangstar track for you. This, when I'm talking to anybody in any crowd, I don't care if it's a commencement at Tidewater Tech or like a church or whatever, I'm like, how quickly can I get you to the couch to when we're just talking? And we at the crib. Like that's
connection.
Right. It's connection. How fast can we connect versus me just firing off some points that I hope change your life?
But you're a student of the game too, because everything you talk about, you do personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. But this is dope.
Sorry, Paula, I got on a little tangent there.
No, it's true. I mean, it's connection, but that's leadership too, because it's amazing how I was talking to Katrina at Trades, and she's like, Dr. P, she works out, and we were talking about some physical stuff.
She bodybuild too?
No, she's just started her fitness journey.
No.
She's done really well. I'm super proud of Katrina. And we were chatting, and then she's like, but my playlist. And I was like, I know where you're going with that because I already knew what they meant. And see, that's why we keep it connection and we keep it all ground level, because at the end of the day, we're still people. Yeah. And just because I love Lil Wayne doesn't take away from who I am. Just like Charlie loves Gangstar. And
Lil Wayne got some Jones.
So it's the connection is there because we're all people and we're all within nature, nurture. There's something that calls us to be where we are today.
Absolutely. Lil Wayne's versatile.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing sports shows now.
Yeah.
He's expanding his influence. And I feel like he's moving towards a more positive way too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you for that. Yeah. Although I do remember we were going down, not this Neptune festival.
Oh God.
I think it was 2 Neptunes saying, Charlie, come on. So first of all, I had to climb in her big rig. Windows down, music blaring. I'm like, oh my God.
It was exhilarating. He thoroughly enjoyed it.
He loved every minute.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did.
He wasn't nervous at all.
I think of it often. What else you got?
Did I answer your question? I just started talking.
No, you did answer my question.
No, that's perfect.
No, you positioned the couch properly, and then I'll ask some more questions later. But you definitely positioned the couch.
Sweet.
So connection is important. They need to know who's here.
Yeah,
and you know why it's so important and why we have you here.
That's my other philosophy: is transparency is the best connector.
I can't be anything else. I know Paulette's the same way. I did bring some notes. I never have notes on this show.
Stop it. Are you serious?
And I brought some notes. Well, this is an important topic that I did want to kind of launch into. We ready for that?
Yes. What's the name of the book?
Well, the name of the book is Talent is Overrated.
Okay.
And it actually deals with raising children and talks about practice versus skill set and things like that. And they make an argument that practice is where it's at, but intentional practice, and use the word purpose. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I thought this would be kind of cool for us, and we can do something else, we need to, but I thought this was cool because it talks about intentionally doing things, meaning if you're like, we have reps, they're on the phones, they do the same thing pretty much every day. But if you're truly practicing to better yourself, you have to be intentional about your progress. What also leads to understanding your limitations and improving those. Yeah. Most of us, you hear the 10,000 thing, you do some 10,000 hours, you'll become an expert. But you got to be improving during those 10,000, not doing the same thing for 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
And I think we all fall into that sometimes, especially in Salesforce or in leadership or whatever it is, we can do that. And I kind of wanted to launch that in because it's even similar to your music. As an artist, I'm sure what you were years ago versus now has progressed.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah, so much better.
But you couldn't sing the same bars the same way and expect to progress.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense to you.
100%.
To bring it to a religious thing, if you pray all the time and you say the same prayer for 30 years, are you really praying? You know what I mean? That type of thing. So that's the premise behind it. And they're saying you got to start early to progress as a child. And there's a difference between experience and practice.
Right.
Experience could be the same thing you're doing over and over again. That could be experience, but practice with intentional practice, like listening to calls, you're doing whatever for our purposes will make a difference. So I want to talk about that a little bit. I got some little sound bites I'll throw out there and just thought you guys may be the right people to help me out understanding this.
Yeah.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
You sure?
I love it.
All right.
I do. You made me think about when you said talent is overrated and practice and doing things over and over and over again. My mom used to always tell me, you do it right the first time, Paula, you don't have to do it again. Right? So the premise behind that was not to do something.
Yeah.
You know, give it all you got.
Yeah.
Do 100%, do 1,000% of what you're tasked to do. So when you're looking at doing something 10,000 for 10,000 hours and being intentional about it, there's improvement in there.
Yeah.
And in leadership, you have to actually conceptualize the fact that if you're doing something that many times, at some point there had to have been some correction there. There had to have been some type of feedback in there. And that's growth. And that's how you get better, because you have to be open to saying, hey, you've been doing this way, but you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
So you're just because you're still doing it doesn't mean you're doing it right. You have to be open to the dynamics around doing that. And that's leadership.
Absolutely.
That's the DOAs, that's aspiring reps, that's CDs, that's who we are every single day.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that the book title is talent. Talent is overrated. What is leadership? Is leadership overrated? That's a big question, because like Nigel, he walks up to you, you don't know he's a pastor. He's dressed like a guy. He's just dressed like a guy going to Walmart, right? Or going somewhere. But he's this guy.
This is my Walmart fit.
Yeah, his Walmart fit. He's fully knowledgeable. He's trained. He's certified. He's experienced. And you don't know just from face value if what he's giving you is something that can help you in your 10,000 hour.
Exactly right.
You don't know.
And
you
that's
have to be
the
open.
point of it, right?
Right. You have to be open in leadership.
So the example they give is making pizza. And the guy says, you can make pizzas for 20 years and still make crappy pizza. And the point of it is you've got to understand that progression to get to the best pizza, so to speak.
Yeah, if you
Right.
spend 10,000 hours doing the wrong thing,
That's
not
the-
doing
yeah.
it well. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna be a master at something that's not helpful.
Right.
And I think when you I thought I used to have a lot of phone jobs, so I thought about the phone team you're talking about. You're making phone calls, knocking it out. If you don't absolutely like love that, and all you see is I've got to make 20 calls a day, the repetition of that could start to like drain and you know take away the joy of what you're doing, even if you like making the sale, getting somebody into the school, whatever.
Right.
But like if in the process of making successful phone calls, you have mile markers and goals about, you know what, when I made this call, I could tell me and that person didn't click right away. I had to get the small talk out of the way and then get to what I was talking about. And it didn't get good until that. Maybe I need to challenge myself over these next month to how is as soon as I pick up the phone, I connect with that person and I watch my progress and growing. So all my phone calls start to trend from, 6 of these were draining, but 3 of them were good, to like 9 of my calls were amazing.
Exactly.
But you set
Right.
those
This
goals,
guy.
right? You set those
Did you
goals.
do
and
admissions?
stuff.
Did you do admissions?
But it's the same
It's the
thing.
same premise. It's the same
I mean,
premise.
how many rappers you know that are still just
Yeah, they got that. You hear? I know some guys now. You hear them now. It's the same stuff they made 10 years ago. But like the guys that I still like to listen to, they're not making the same music. It's not because they changed with the time. They just got better and they can't make what they used to make. Now this stuff,
that's right.
This stuff
Studios
is classic.
are better, the beats are
Yeah,
better,
but even
everything.
their writing talent and all that like is somewhere different. Like what they want to talk about. They've grown as people. Their philosophy of life has evolved.
Right.
The way they craft their bars has changed.
Yeah.
So now they kept up with I'm growing as things change. The production styles have changed, to your point, but they went along with it. And you got some dudes 40, 50 years old out rapping these young boys and they think that it's a young man's game. Like, nah, check these guys are killing it because they got 30 years in and they haven't stopped. Right. So it's that piece of I'm not comfortable with where I am. I'm content with where I am, but I'm not comfortable where I am.
Yeah.
Because I got somewhere else to go.
It's different.
So there's a big difference.
You're
with
comfortable being uncomfortable.
Comfortable
type
being
thing.
uncomfortable. But I'm going to be content. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to be humble. Like I can know that I'm really good at what I do, but I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. Like I want to be that, and I'm not there yet.
Do you think that first piece is the ability to speak from the heart, so to speak? And I say so
What
to
first
speak,
piece?
You said content, but then you said, but I want more.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you said, but I'm still humble. I'm like this.
Yeah.
You could have 50% of that
Yeah.
and drives kind of an ego version with limited returns.
Yeah.
But if you keep that humbleness, that kind of mentor personality trait,
Yeah.
that's where you can add, if you're looking at, what are those things you snap together and make? Legos. Like if you got each one of those a Lego and the thing just keeps getting higher
Yeah.
Right.
based on the things you're putting in there. But a lot of people just keep that one layer of Legos and it's going for miles
Right.
where they're not building up on those Legos.
I think
That
it's what
makes-
Paulette said, because like if I know I'm giving 1,000% today, it doesn't. If I'm not where I know I want to be, but I gave 1,000 and I killed it to the best of my ability, I leave there content with like, man, I did a good job.
You did everything you could.
I did everything I could. I did a really good
You
job.
left it
today.
on the court.
I left it all on the court today.
Right.
Now I talked to my mentor. I learned some stuff. I screwed up here, and I'm going to fix that tomorrow. But today, I killed it. With
Right.
now I'm going to put my head on my pillow and be like, yo, I killed it for where I'm at today. Not where I want to be. I'm content with what today is, but I still got to go through the uncomfortable growth process to get where I want to go. That's why I'm excited about tomorrow.
Yeah.
and it keeps the goals in front of you to keep you pushing. So.
And it's like those graphs. It's not like this.
Right.
It's like this
Yeah,
and
up and
squirrely and
down,
everything,
all
but it's
those things.
still going
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think it's important too because he said something important about being this difference between content and comfortable. And that's why I said when you said that, I was like, that's a lot. Because some people think that if I'm content, then I should be happy. I should be good. That I should be good. This is good. I'm thankful. Being content doesn't mean you're not humble.
Right.
It doesn't mean
Right.
you're not willing to grow. Doesn't mean that you got it made and everything's all hunky dory. Being content is I'm satisfied in the moment, but the moment is only a present tense.
Correct.
After that, there's more to come.
Yeah.
So you're still driving toward your goal. The goal doesn't go away. So when I say, hey, is leadership overrated, right? How many leaders have we learned not to do, what not to do from? Not the leaders that we've learned what to do, the ones that were great mentors. We followed their lead. Maybe they helped us with succession plans for our leadership. But what about the ones we learned what not to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned from those individuals because they were titles and they weren't leaders. The titles were leadership driven, but they weren't leaders who were still practicing that contentness that says, hey, I'm content today because I gave it 1,000%, but I'm still looking to grow.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable. So that leader who was overrated because of their title, there's somebody that I learned what not to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that leader.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to talk to people like that. I am going to spend time with my people. I am
Yeah.
going to engage my people. I am going to have a hard conversation, but I'm going to come back and show you what I expect.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be a point the finger leader and then do as I say, not as I do leader.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the way also. I'm going to actually be the one who says, hey, I learned from her. You know, I really learned, and I try to be in my leadership more so you not only learn from me professionally, but personally, because I don't say things I can't repeat. Good, bad, or indifferent. If I say it, I can repeat it. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? So, and I practice that for a reason because people have to trust you.
Yeah.
People have to understand that you're transparent with them. And also our students, that bleeds down to our students. Our parents are trusting us to take care of their children. We have single moms. We have individuals who are starting over from being incarcerated, military transition. These people are literally trusting us. So sometimes I've been at trades or different schools where somebody will bring the worst person to me and say, Dr. P, I can't talk to him. You got to talk to him. All right. I'm going to be honest with them. First, you're not going to talk to me like that. Have a seat and calm down. Let's stop screaming. No profanity. And then we have a conversation because I understand that's your life. People don't get upset about things they don't care about.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
They don't get upset about things they don't care about. In leadership, in talent, in football, in music, they don't get upset about things they don't care about.
Yeah.
So with us as leaders, we have to understand where we are. We have to really understand my leadership isn't your leadership, same as yours, but we all have something to give.
Yeah.
We all have something to share. So that's why I say, is leadership overrated? Depends on who you're at.
Is that trainable?
What, leadership?
Leadership?
Absolutely.
I think it is trainable.
Absolutely.
What's not trainable in leadership, I believe, is the compassion that comes with it, because you have to be willing to see people and not just the job you set out to do.
But you guys are comfortable in your skin. Is it hard to do that when you're like that introvert and not comfortable in your skin?
I don't think so, because I've met introverted leaders. I actually have one, and I love him to death. He's introverted, and we just laugh on the phone. And you have to reach people where they are. Like you can't. You have to just reach them where they are, so that they have that ability to be so trusting in you, so that they're confident enough to have a conversation with you or have a relaxed conversation.
Do you both feel like you're very deliberate in your intentions?
Oh, I'm always
How so?
deliberate.
Just in general, deliberate how you dress, like you said, how you walk, how you talk, how you approach people, what people you do approach with, how you approach with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over strategic to a fault. And the best time, when I'm at my best, everything's intentional.
Yeah.
But when I'm at my best, I have two pedals of a bike of organized and organic, to where I am intentional, but I'm also going to let things just kind of flow at the same time. So if I'm a step in here, I got an end goal for this meeting, this initiative, whatever. I want it to go this is the way I see it in my head. But I'm bringing a bunch of people in here who've got their own vision, their own talent, their own way of doing things. And it may not end up the way I saw it in my head. But as long as we hit this goal, and I'm not trying to control this thing and make it just, I'm intentional with us getting this goal, but I don't want it to be, it's got to be the way I saw it in my head. I'm bringing you guys in this so we can reach the goal together. And it may look totally different than I thought, which is the organic part. But as long as we get there, I don't care. So if I'm overly intentional with trying to control the outcome, I mess things up. But
That was a really good way to put that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, it was, because it's almost conceptual at first,
Yeah.
and then you allow that organic side to help form that conceptual into some sort of execution.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I've experienced the Paulus point of other leaders who the one of the biggest downfalls of like leaders is they have an agenda and an outcome that they see, and it has to be exactly how they saw it in their head or on their whiteboard. And if it's not that way, then it's wrong. We can get there, but it's going to look like this. No, it has to be this way. And then they brought all this talent and all these people in the room who can get there in creative other ways, but they shut them down because it's got to be the way they saw it.
And then you squash the creativity.
You squash the creativity, and now the team's just following orders, but they're not flourishing.
Is that a control attribute?
Yeah, it's control. It's control. And and that's when you're leading from a title piece. That's when it's like, I'm the boss, do this. But leadership is influence. It's like, hey, this is where we need to go. How do we get there together? I'm influencing us to get there, but the way we're going to get there is dependent on everybody in this room. And then if the team fails, it's my fault. If the team wins, it's because of them.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Right.
While still getting your pats on the back too. So, but
Because you're along the ride too.
yeah, you're alone. They wouldn't have gotten there without your influence. But the first thanks goes to the team, and you're the last one to get thanks. You're the first one to take responsibility. So that's kind of how it goes with leadership.
We have some individuals that don't have a direct report, like they can't tell them to do something, for lack of a better term, but they influence. And I've always thought that's
leadership.
the best job
Yes.
is an influence. And I'm talking about, we have regional director of missions that go in and influence departments. The people don't report to them, but by their countenance and the way they deliver things, like you're talking
That's
about,
leadership, yeah.
they influence.
Yeah,
And the ones that know how to do that are very powerful at it. They don't need a direct report
Right.
to
Yeah.
do that.
If it's just if you do what I say because I have a title, I may be a boss, but I may not be a leader.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if I can walk in a room and I don't have a title, you don't have to listen to me. But we got a rapport. You see my track record. Man, what if we did this? What did it? And it moves that way. I just led that thing, whether I have a title or not.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
Right.
So,
We always think about it like this in admissions. We always ask, so if there's a DOA in leadership that's absent, right? And the team's there and they don't have a DOA, director of admissions. So we're expecting them to still drive business. The common question that typically we would ask, myself, Charlie, who's the silent leader on that campus?
I love it, yo.
We look for the silent leader.
That's dope.
It's the person without the title, and it's usually a senior rep or someone who everyone goes to. They're looking at them for direction, or maybe they're the voice.
Yeah.
But we always look for the silent leader
That's good.
and say, hey.
And you
that's
gravitate right to them.
Yeah.
You do.
You
Leaders
can
always
walk into a
rise.
campus and tell who is that person.
Right.
I call them peacocks, but
That's dope. And it doesn't have anything to do with their charisma either. They may not necessarily be the most charismatic.
Some don't
extroverted.
have any.
Right.
They
you know what I'm
just get the
saying?
job done, and people see
just
that.
go to them.
Yes.
So, because people think a lot of times leadership is based on extroverted people pleasers, people, excuse me, and that ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, you can see somebody you like to hang with, but you ain't gonna follow them anywhere.
Exactly.
So, like,
Right.
it's just who gets followed. That's the leader.
Right.
And so, I think it's really important to just acknowledge that person for what they are.
That's true.
I got one more to throw at you, and then I do have a couple questions. I know you do too. It says, and sorry to read from this, sorry, but it says,
It's all pictures. There's no words on the paper.
yeah, there ain't no words here, man.
Stick figures.
That's what I'm struggling now to see. I brought my glasses, my old man glasses. Yes. So basically it says, yes, doing the same thing over and over again will build experience, like we talked about, the pizza thing. But it's still the same experience that you're building. So you're just that Lego thing is one flat thing. And then he goes on to say, what you need is new, additional, unfamiliar experience. And that only comes with practice. And it's kind of similar to what you said is being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And his argument is to grow as you practice, you have to put yourself in situations that'll help you grow.
Yeah.
Take any sports team, a successful coach. I mean, Saban and whatever, they put them in the worst game time situations at practice. That's not even sometimes close to what they're going to see on Saturday.
Yeah.
But he does it for a reason, so they being hit with every scenario, so their muscle memory or how they act will not be an obstacle in that environment. Take a kicker yelling in his ear or something like that.
Right.
Free throw shooter in basketball. Those are notorious doing that. And I do think it's interesting when you look at our line of work is that reps always say, I hate doing role play. I hate doing this or I hate doing that. Where it's like, look, if you want to be successful, Cameron, Shin, you want to be successful at football, you got to watch film, you got to sleep, you got to hit the weight room, got to eat right, you got to do all those things. It's just not about putting on pads and hitting someone.
Right.
And a lot of athletes that are young don't understand those other components of putting themselves in different situations so they're ready for that.
Yeah.
Working out, better on injuries, right? Eating right is better for your lungs or your you don't get gassed or anything like that. All those things lead and correlate to something. But I think as admissions people, we get so comfortable. And I know you've heard this. Oh, things have changed. I can't even keep up now. Things have changed. Your job is to keep up.
Right.
Your job is to know, okay, they don't pick up the phone now. They text message. They use acronyms. They don't use full sentences. They don't, you got to understand the demo you're dealing with and grow with it, because you ain't going to sell anything if you don't do that.
Right.
And people aren't going to listen to you if it's not relevant to their needs. Your story, I would say, your story gives you that firm foundation of legitimacy and authentication of the words, but you still have to grow to how their environment is, right? That's why your music, I feel, and what you speak is talking to them at what they're seeing every day, and you're giving a message that they can't get from 90% of their circle.
Right.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
Why are you looking at me with those eyes?
No, I was
Give me
thinking.
those eyes. She gives me those eyes, and I start talking. I'm thinking, she
No.
don't like anything I'm
I was
saying.
thinking.
She's squinting.
I was thinking.
I'm like, damn.
You said, I wrote it down, new additional
She said you wrote it down.
unfamiliar scenarios, right?
Yes.
And then you countered that with the reps not wanting to do role play. So I was going to ask you, because typically,
Flipping it now. I see what you're doing.
well, just asking a question. Typically, a rep will opt out. Oh, I don't want to do role play. I'll do. Can I just do a career planning session when my student gets here? They opt out. Why do you think they would prefer to do a career planning session when the student comes and have the DOA just observe their career planning session, or doing an on the spot role play?
Why do I think it is? Man, I mean, to me, so you're saying they would like to do the live interview and be watched, then do a role play.
With the DOA, right? What do you think the differences are?
Confidence. Only thing I can think is confidence. It's a one-on-one setting with someone that appears to be smarter in the role than they are and saying something wrong, I guess, and not being natural. But I'd make the argument when you're live, you're in the game.
That's the new unfamiliar scenarios that DOAs don't do enough. They don't do enough role plays. So their comfort level is, hey, I'm going to go talk to someone who doesn't know what to expect. Nigel doesn't know. He's my new prospective student. He comes in, hey, Nigel, we're going to take a tour. We're going to do this career planning session, however they do that. However, if the DOA is doing enough role plays, they're catching enough turns to where it's unfamiliar to them every single time. No, I noticed you said this. No, go back and touch that equipment. Tell me what that means. They should be doing more role plays so that it's more unfamiliar to them, because every role play should be different.
Always.
And it's an uncomfortable situation. When I was at Kansas City a couple weeks ago, I took every
They
single
lost
rep.
last week. Sorry.
Keeps up with football.
What? I'm
all
saying
the
they
time.
lost.
I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to be following, but I don't know.
He loves football. But I took every single rep on a tour. Every single rep. I was like, hey, come take me on a tour. Come do a CPS with me. And not one of them wanted to. They were like right now, Dr. P? I was like,
Yeah, right now.
like right now. And it was on the spot coaching. Well, I normally don't do that. Well, I know that. So let me show you this is what I would prefer you do. This is more engaging. This is more, because it was coaching.
Yeah,
It
that's
was on the spot coaching. It was corrective action right then. Hey, let's do this again. Don't tell me what you normally do. Let's do this again. It was too unfamiliar because we're not doing that enough. Our DOAs need to start role playing more often than not, and stop settling for hoping that they do a career planning
That's what I'm
session the
getting
right
at with
way
all this.
with someone who doesn't know what to expect. Nigel doesn't know what to expect when he goes on a career planning session. He thinks that you gave him all the bells and whistles, you touched a couple of aircrafts, and great, this is the school I want to go to. Did you do everything? I know what you're supposed to do. That's why we're doing on the spot coaching. That's why I'm having you start over. That's why I'm saying, take me back to the lobby. Nope, I don't want, let's do this again. That's that unfamiliar that we have to get our reps accustomed to those scenarios, because having them just listening to phone calls is not enough.
No. And then they're listening to bad reps. I've watched, we have new hires come in, right? And then you've been on the phones before. They'll sit them next to someone who's an underachiever. And it's like, you're going to have them learn from that same person who you're trying to remediate on the skills that they have. And I'll ask you one more question, and I do have a question for you, Nigel. I never believed in doing role play for the whole thing. I've always liked role playing a certain aspect.
Break
of
it up.
Right? So just building rapport. Let's just role play on that. Let's get you real comfortable with that so it's natural. How you talk to someone in the elevator. How do you talk to them in the mall when you haven't seen them in a long time, right?
Right.
And I find that when we role play, we want to do the whole daggone thing where the attention span, they're over with, right? So I do feel like 100% I agree with you. You know I do, because that's what this is about. But we also got to be intentional about what we're role playing on, right?
That's true.
What's their natural personality? Let them speak their own words, right? Because it comes from them, and it has to be genuine if it's their words.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't give too much. I can't learn that much.
That's true.
And the question I have for you, I wonder if it's similar to when you're writing. There's got to be a process where you just don't come out and you got all this written out, right? Or maybe you do. But there's got to be a process when you're putting down your lyrics or your hooks and you're trying to put it all together. There's got to be, I would think, and I'm just using my words. There's got to be maybe inspiration first. Then you think about what you want to, say. Then you put some things out there that are more framework. Then it all comes tight. Then you got to put the music behind it to reinforce the words. There's got to be a process to that, just like we have a process.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's always, for me, it's just, I normally I'll get the production first. And unless we have a direction, unless we want to end up here, I'll just let the joint comes on and I'm like, ooh, this is what I'm feeling. And I'll just start letting stuff come out. And then as I start to see the picture I want to paint, I'm like, all right, I want the picture to end up here. So now I need to backfill lines that get me to this point at the end of this so that whoever hears this gets the point I'm trying to communicate.
And then you got a product you're proud of.
Yeah. Right.
Now, is it Lil Wayne? Does he write anything down? Is he the guy that doesn't write anything
No, he
down?
doesn't write anymore. A lot of rappers don't do that.
Do you write anything down?
I write everything down.
You write everything down?
Yeah, I do. But I do it on my phone. I could go in and not write at this point. I see how, because when I first heard that a long time ago, I was like, how? But I'm like, I see it now. I can do that.
Do you?
Yeah, but for me, I'll sit down and I'll write something and it comes really fast.
Is it hard to tie the music and I want cool words to use?
Nah.
Is it hard to tie the music with the word? Because I imagine the music gives the words even more power, right?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes I'll get the music first and I write to that. Sometimes I'll have something written and then I'll hear some later ooh, this fits what I wrote. And then and it's even really fun when you're building together. the producers over here making the music while you're writing. I'm like, hey, bro, throw some strings right here at this part and then bring in some upright bass. Just trust me. And then I'm writing to it while he's doing it. Like, that's fun too. You kind of craft it together and you're like, that's why I said I wrote this. Oh, now I'm going to add this to it because you said that. And it's cool.
You start vibing together with every.
And you still get that anyway, because like somebody will send you music, you write to it, and then you send it back, then you got the mix process, like, oh, we need to throw in a flute here or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, because of what you wrote. So it still happens anyway. But it's really fun with all the digital options you have now to take like live instrumentation or live samples from live instrumentation and then manipulate it on the back end.
Have you authored anything like book wise? Do you ever take your lyrics and put them in book form?
I have not. Paulette's been talking to me about that for a while.
You need to do that.
I need to. Thank you.
You need to do that.
I appreciate
Confirmation.
it. It is.
Yeah.
It is. 2 or 3.
Because it may be a different audience that you can reach.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
You're right, man. Because like I love books, and I know there's some people who just my music's not their style, but they would read a book, and so.
You know the first video I watched of you
was that?
A long time ago?
What's that?
I think it was Salt Flats you were at.
Oh yeah.
That was the first video. Was it 2 years ago? I think it was like 2 years.
Highly esteemed. That's been out for like 5 or 6, honestly.
Well, I watched it 2.5 years ago.
But it was the one on the Salt Flats, man. That's the most visually fun video I've ever did.
You look like it
Where
was
was
fun
it?
to produce.
It was
in Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, this Bonneville Salt Flats.
But it was
Wow.
cool the
Like
way it
Morton
all came
Salt Factory,
together.
like 2 miles away. Like
Really?
they literally just scoop up the salt and sell it to us. It's just dirt, but it's salt. That's all they do.
Yeah, you may not come back from there. It's just out there.
So pretty.
I mean, there's nothing. There's not a bathroom. There's nothing.
It's just salt.
Wow.
But
Like,
the way it put together, have you seen it? You need to watch
sent it
that.
to you.
Mark,
I
let's
sent it
we'll clip that in
Hey,
on this
Okay.
because I really enjoy that one, and that's the first time I really started, listening to
I
you,
appreciate
watching a little
that,
bit.
man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. You were saying something earlier. I thought about it. I didn't want to interrupt, but like, I don't remember what point it was. So I hope this makes sense this far after. But I think it's easy for us as humans to fall in love with the goal line and not the track. You know what I mean?
It's a process.
Yeah, we don't want to do. We want to get to the goal line as quick as possible. We don't want to train. We don't want to wake up 5 a.m. go to the gym. We don't want to run. We just want to. I would love to just get a gold medal though. You know what I mean? Like if you can get a gold medal without it, I'd love. That's the default mode for a lot of us.
That's a different type of growth. Falling in love with a process is a whole different type of growth because it depends on who you are and where you are in those 10,000 hours. Because I'm in my 10,000 hours of my physical activity, right? So I truly enjoy the process of waking up at 4 a.m. Like there are times where I'm not motivated, but I love the process. I've seen the
Discipline.
I've seen it. I love it. I enjoy it. But that's my 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Charlie's 10,000 hours and yours is something totally different to where you might not enjoy that process as much, but in your process of leadership, or Charlie's like a football guru. In football as a coach, like I could totally see Charlie taking this team and rebuilding this team and making them like all-stars. Like he would thrive.
But you know why I like that?
That's his 10,000 hours.
It's his thing. When you find something where you can really influence and give back, that's when things are changed for you in your approach and your drive, everything. And for me, it's football. For you, it's music and speaking.
Right.
That's what mine was. I mean, here, I guess you can make an argument, but when you get to a certain level, you disconnect. That's why a lot of us say, man, I wish I was back at the campus. Wish I was working with the students, because you miss that part where you can actually give a piece of yourself and actually influence someone's life, which is, I would make an argument that's probably the most important reason why we're here,
right?
Is to influence other people's life
100%.
to that journey, right? And to your statement, there's something out there about the journey, and you can't love the wins. You've got to love the journey.
Yeah,
I think someone said that about the journey of the grind is more important to him than the win.
Yeah, I got a guy that was training me on getting music and like TV and film and stuff. So he's been working with me this year, and he said, my goal with everything is get all your music to 80% and put it out. He said, because if you keep putting out your stuff at 80% versus working hard to get it to 100, eventually your 80% is going to sound like somebody's 120 because you're just that good at cranking it out because you keep going through the process over and over and over again.
I like that.
Stuck. He's like, so just
like
get it
that
to
too.
80% and get it out.
That correlates to what we got going on. The perfectionists, the rep perfectionists, the
Right.
Yeah.
statistician perfectionists.
Now, I'm a perfectionist by nature. Like I will I will overthink stuff, to a fault. And next thing I know, this song has been sitting in Dropbox for a year, and like the energy's dead. But I overthought it, so it's
That's a talent trait, though, isn't it?
What's that?
A lot of people
it can be.
at a certain level, like where you're at, and I'd say, where you're at, you do have that trait, though, of wanting to put out my best and not settling.
Well, I think it's because if you see where you want to go, and you try to mimic that for where you are today. You're trying to craft something and saying, we're going to be here one day, but how quickly can I get to the goal line? How can I get across the finish line without loving the track? You start to craft that in and overthink stuff, and you just get analysis paralysis, and you don't ever make it.
No, it's right. I remember, sorry to be football again, but my younger son played a lot of football. And when he went to college to play, football didn't love him back. For the first time in his whole life, he loved football more than the game was loving him back, if you get what I mean.
Right.
And he quit. He couldn't handle that part of it.
Yeah.
He lost that because the game just wasn't there for
I
him.
get it, bro. I 100% get it.
Yeah, and that's hard.
Yeah,
and as a rep, you have to recognize that, or is it more of DOA needs to recognize that as you're working with many different individual personalities, upbringings, who knows what it is, because we're all just people working with other people.
It's a fine art being a director of admissions, because
it's not easy.
It's not. And Charlie always asks myself and Leonard, could you be a director of admissions again? I'm like, yeah, that'd be a great job, because we've mastered the art of working with people, right? And I shouldn't say master because we're not perfect. However, because we keep perfecting that craft, we keep working with each other, we keep working and training, working with reps and developing reps would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you haven't seen before.
Yeah,
or
we're taking
handled
these
or whatever.
fresh young reps or even seasoned reps and saying, no, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to get there. And this map we create and spending time with them is that process that I truly think that we would do phenomenal, because we love the process.
Yeah. A DOA
We love
is
it.
one of the best. I do believe it's the best job, but you got to have that. Like I say, there's nothing you haven't encountered. And I believe when those cats are in the audience and you're talking, that guy gets me. I mean, he's almost hearing my brain, what I'm going through at this time.
Yeah.
And then they look at you and then do steps and things like that.
Yeah, it's all for me, man. One of the things, and I've done this when I've had a chance to speak at a couple of the campuses. If I'm talking to like faculty and staff, for example, we're talking about this stuff. I tell them this one book fundamentally changed how I deal with people, and it's a Maxwell book, John Maxwell. It's called "Everyone Communicates, Few Connect."
That's a really good book.
I tell everybody, I'm like, I don't read this book about how you deal with your one-on-ones, your small groups, your large groups, your teams, your
Very
direct
good book.
reports, your students. This book on how do I connect with you in the first 7 seconds of our interaction? It changed how I do everything. How I talk with people, how I fundraise, how when I do a concert, as soon as I come out on stage, I got 7 seconds to get this crowd's attention. That's all I got. How do I do this well and connect? And it's what you said. How do I get to the point where, oh man, we on the couch. We just on the couch.
Yeah.
And strategically do that. Because I mean, it's not, when somebody's leading a group or trying to get things together, you ain't got to be the best leader. You ain't got to be the most dynamic, the most charismatic, the most professional. None of that matters. How do I get to this place to where you trust me, we have a rapport, and any wall you could have possibly had based on where you came from, I'm eliminating that as soon as I walk in the room, because I know who I'm talking to,
Right.
and I know how to get through to
But
you.
what would you say if someone, you said that to someone, they were like, well, man, it's because you're already there. It's easier for you to say.
Nah, not at all. It's you said earlier, can leadership be learned and all that? I've never been the best artist. I've never been the best speaker. Like that has nothing to do with that. There are guys who are naturally way more gifted than I am. And they don't, I've been privileged to do this full time for a decade just because of sitting in the process. And like, I'm always sitting learning. I'm sitting next to somebody who I don't think has anything to teach me, but they got the mic and they're talking. I got my pad out and I'm listening. I'm taking notes because there's always something to learn from somebody.
Always.
And so just going through the process of, I need to grow, I need to get better, 1% a day. And learning, you said it too, learning from people who have nothing to do with my field and putting myself in experiences that I would have never went through because I'm laser focused on this. But they're a leader. They're dynamic when they know their stuff. I want to learn from them, and they're doing something I don't care anything about. But I'm gonna sit at his feet and learn from them and apply that to my life, put myself in an experience that has nothing to do with mine, and just constantly learn. I learned that from I was privileged to have mentors in my life that taught me you never know everything, and just keep learning and don't stop. And
I love that.
Pulling all
Never
that stuff
know.
together, I've been able to do what I do with my art and with me being able to do what I do doesn't make any sense with the size of artist I am and the size of the brand I have. God has been very faithful and things have worked out very well. And but it's walking through the process and just continuing to grow.
Yeah.
So, but I recommend that book to anybody.
How do you deal with adversity?
What do you mean?
Say you're down on something, or the week the music didn't go right, or something like that. How do you approach things to say, hey, it's just another day?
Yeah. I guess for me, I just have to. I've always got that thing in front of me, like we're going to get here, and similar to what you said, this is part of the process. The chart's going to go up and down. Then we're in the down moment. That's okay. We were talking before you cut the cameras on. I'm in the down moment right now, just to be 1,000% transparent. I'm going through something physical, and it's affecting a whole bunch of mental stuff. I lost about 3 weeks of time and missed a bunch of goals. I missed a bunch of finish lines. But because I'm like, all right, right now this is part of the process. I got to recalibrate because we're going to get here. But it's not going to happen the way I saw it in my head. So I got to recalibrate. I got to bring in some people smarter than me. Say, how do we still get there, even if it's not with the goal line I had in mind? I'm just going to stay on the track. So it's just being able to sit back and say, the arrow went down today, but it's going to come back up. So it's all good.
Sun's gonna rise tomorrow.
It's going to come back up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're a
It's
special
like,
dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. Appreciate that, bro.
We're winding down a little bit. You got anything else?
I just love the 10,000 hours, and I'm curious and it's a rhetorical question. So any DOA out there, definitely love to hear from you. But if not, I understand.
Man, they don't ever. I'm looking at the never comment back to us. How many times?
Katrina Trades reached out to me about the discipline episode.
Katrina, there's
Is that the one that's working
Yes,
out?
Katrina, there's a CC line on that. You can put my name too.
Include Charlie, Katrina.
Man, blind copy. I don't care.
But she's definitely reached out so we can start working on some things. Her discipline.
I love that.
Yeah, she did. But that 10,000 hours, I love it because everyone's 10,000 hours is different. Someone's working on something for themselves, personally, professionally, and as DOAs, I would love for you to ask yourself, what is your 10,000 hours? What is that? What are your goals? What are you doing every single day to become better? Who's involved in that process? How are you growing? And are you actually in your 10,000 hours? Because if you refuse to grow, who are you helping? And you have to be in the process. That 10,000 hours is the process.
And you can't stay stagnant.
That 10,000 hours is so important. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Because it is the process. And you can't, if you refuse it, you don't grow. And you affect the other people around you. Regardless, you're going to impact people, whether you're growing or whether you're not. You're going to impact someone.
Love it. How can we follow you? How can these guys keep up with you?
Yeah, man. So everything's just at Nigel backwards. So Nigel backwards is Legin, Legin. That's how it's spelled. Not END, Legin. So all my socials are at Legin TV, Legin TV. Website is legend.tv.
And hit us with, I know it's a reverse of your name. Talk to us a little bit about that. How did that come about?
That situation with my dad, I'd always rap with it because I just knew my name spelled backwards was Legend. I thought it was cool. But when that situation happened where I forgave my father right before his death, and that's what changed my life. And I actually came to faith in Christ in that moment for me personally, and just decided to make a life change and wanted to go out and make the life change for the people. It just meant that God turned my life around and my life turned around. So if I'm in a religious setting where it's a stained glass setting, I'll say God turned my life around. If I'm in a plain glass setting, non-religious, I'll say my life turned around. Either way. So that's how I break it up, stained glass and plain glass. And
I like that.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna have to use that.
On the couch.
And that's but yeah, that's what it means to me. Just everything turned around. Because the path I was heading down was one of just being self-absorbed and chasing dreams for vain reasons, trying to cover up pain and hurt and acting out and all these things. I think money, opportunity, and success would have destroyed my life at that time. And
Is
now,
how you would have handled it.
how I would have handled it. Because
Yeah.
I would have just Hurt people, but heal people. So when I realized that on the other end, I was like, I'm going to keep the name, but it's so I can change somebody else's life. So I went and started telling my story of forgiveness in like prisons and schools and churches and anybody would have me and just watch it. And the best thing in the world is when somebody hits me up and says, man, I didn't know and I haven't had anybody tell my story from the stage, and I'm going to call my mom and forgive her for what she did to me when I was a kid. I thank you for that.
That's got to mean a lot.
It is, man.
More than money, fame, anything.
I trade it all for that, man. Just that I've been in prisons, man, and guys, I'm going to call my kids. I've been ashamed, but I'm going to call them now. Thank you. Like,
for real.
It happens all the time. And it's just like, it's the biggest thing in the world for me, man. Like when somebody's like, I want to reach out for forgiveness or I want to go and forgive now. Because that single thing, I think our inability to know how to, it's back to connecting with people, our inability to know how to talk to people, connect and deal with people. A lot of times it stems from hurt and trauma we never dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Like the inability to get through a tough phone call or to feel rejected when it doesn't go good. It's probably tied to something you dealt with, you've been through that you didn't deal with. And so teaching people just a simple act of like, yo, if you forgive and let the debt go here, you don't have to carry it anymore. They may never say sorry, but let the debt go. Now you're free. And then your whole work dynamic is different.
The weight's gone.
Right.
The weight's gone.
Right.
You deal with your team different because you're not bringing that baggage of this debt from this situation into your team. And somebody says something that triggers a hurt that you didn't even realize. And now it's impacting the work thing. And it's as simple as that sounds. But that's 90% of the issue.
No, you're right. And then for our purposes too, the other side of the line, they're dealing with those same
You
things.
never know who
So you
you're
got to
talking
be
to.
sensitive and understanding and empathetic. And
You
all
never
those
know,
things.
man. You never know who you're talking to.
Any new music dropping soon?
Yeah. I just dropped a single called Higher that came out. I got a new one coming out. I think it's going to be, I forgot the name. It comes out in the 10th of December, and I just brain farted on it. But I got an EP coming out with all the music. Wait, I did. I just totally forgot the name. Anyway, I had an EP coming out called God is Iconic.
Because you need to write it down.
Right, I do need to write it down. But, I know why I forgot because we're probably going to swap it out for another single. But anyway,
I got you.
The end of January, I got a full project coming out called God is Iconic, and I've been working on that for a while. And that's going to be fun.
All right. We're going to be looking for some cloth from you too.
Awesome.
I love it, guys. Please follow him. We'll probably have you on again if you get some time.
Bro. Anytime.
And then,
I won't reschedule. I promise I'll just show up.
nah, we don't mind. Paulette doesn't mind. She rolls with it.
I do.
She rolls with
I
it.
roll with it.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks.
So if
We'll make
you
it
were
work.
gonna listen, I got two quick. You got any more questions? You always got some zingers.
I do.
so,
I want to know our top three. We can never leave
Hit
without
those
our
real
top
quick. That's
three.
what I wanted to do. Let's hit
yeah.
those real
What's
quick.
that?
Top three. What's your favorite food?
General Chicken.
Who?
General Chicken.
What is general?
Chinese.
General.
Orange chicken, if you want to call it.
Is that the
Like
what
Payway?
is general though?
General.
Is that the name of the
Yeah.
place?
General Soul's chicken. No, it's just the type of the chicken they make. They have orange chicken, where they put like orange peel in it, stuff like that. But then they have General Chicken, which is that without the orange
It's a
peel.
little spicier too. Done a little spicy.
It is, but I always ask for non-spicy because
Really?
I
You
don't
can't
do
take
spicy.
that?
I don't like
Come
spicy
on,
food,
man.
Where you buy General Chicken from?
bro. Any Chinese food place anywhere.
Payway
I go.
has it.
Yeah,
Do they have
Payway.
Payway around here?
We do
I
not.
don't know.
They're in North Carolina though. They're almost.
I like
here.
Payway.
You go to PF Chang's. They got. Well, they'll call it
I
orange
don't
chicken.
eat chain restaurants, so I don't know.
Don't tell me that.
No, don't.
Don't
Let go to the next
don't hurt
question,
our
please.
Don't hurt our
Don't hurt
friendship.
our
Look, she
friendship.
grows her own lettuce in her backyard.
I know she does. All right, so they will call it like crispy honey chicken at PF Chang's. Same thing. Not really, but kind of.
Okay.
He was dialed into that answer.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you understand.
he's gonna
He
go
was
eat
dialed
there.
into that.
Like, I'm about to go
You know
there.
what? Since you had brought it up, I'm
Contrary to dinner plans, I'm
that's
about to like sneak something off to the side.
All right. What's your favorite movie?
Dark Knight Rises.
Really?
Really?
Why is that
Me
your
too.
favorite movie?
You too? Yeah. That's the reason why I liked you. Though.
Why is it your favorite movie?
Which The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
Because it's a philosophical jump into why villains do what they do.
It's a thinker.
Oh.
It's a thinker movie. Like
Yeah.
if you really break it down past like dude in the bat suit jumping off buildings, like every villain in that series, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises, had a very good reason for why they wanted to destroy Gotham, and they were right, but you knew Batman had to be righter. They weren't wrong; they were just wrong about why they did it.
I think you probably you'd like it.
Dark Knight.
You
never
watch
seen it?
I don't think I've ever
She don't
seen
like
it.
This is two bad things. You don't know General Chicken, and you've never seen Dark Knight.
I don't think I've seen
You're
it.
hurting our relationship.
I don't think I've seen it.
You've got to watch it.
I thought General Chicken was like a place. Like you had to go to General Chicken and get some chicken.
Yeah.
Like a gas station.
I mean, don't make
See
it
the
gas
scrunch,
station food.
see you scrunch your nose in. You go to Wawa.
Yeah,
and get that?
it's like I work out at 4 a.m. I don't go to General Chicken. Like it's
I
just
thought it was like a gas station or something.
you're not wrong. It's not good for you, but it's good.
Oh,
and
okay.
But
but
it's
nah,
not gas station chicken.
you gotta watch.
Who eats gas station chicken?
Huh?
Got 2 cats right there.
Crispy crunchy chicken though, if you've never been.
I've heard.
That's like
I'm afraid to try it, but I've heard it's awesome.
Crispy crunchy chicken. Is
I
that a
just-
gas station?
Well, it's at a gas station.
Oh,
Where
there's
they
no
have-
way.
it's-
I
they have
will
it at a
not
gas-
eat it.
There's one over here in Virginia Beach Boulevard.
For
There's
real?
no way.
I just
like-
finally tried Royal Farms because everybody said it was good. I was like, bro, they can't do they can't be good chicken with a gas pump outside, and it's delicious.
Oh, yeah, you like that?
I liked it, but just saying crispy crunchy is even better.
That's the one. That's the one where it's so crispy that it hurts your gums.
That wasn't a good sell.
Yeah, that was a
At
terrible
at
sales pitch, child. Your gums will bleed.
So we're
It's
talking
so
about
good.
gas station chicken, just FYI.
Yeah.
We're talking about gas station.
Yeah, we did. Go
Okay.
there. And I would have judged them too before I had Royal Farms. So now I can't judge them. And I got.
Since he doesn't have spicy stuff, we're out to bring him for the hot wings channel.
I'm not going to do anything. Don't do that. Don't
We'll
bring
give
me
you
to
some
that.
milk.
Don't do that, bro. I'm not coming.
Well, the hot wing challenge was good. That was fine.
You got to watch Dark Knight Rises. We'll watch it together because like you have to see how good it is.
You like it.
You will.
Just don't tell me I have to eat General Chicken or
I'm not gonna-
Royal Farm
Just
chicken.
put your laptop
I'm
by
not
you,
gonna
get
mess
your head
with
of
you.
lettuce, and watch the movie.
I'm not gonna mess with your diet. Like I know that's untouchable, but you have to watch Dark Knight.
Untouchable.
I've watched that movie an embarrassing amount of times because it's so good.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, hey, I'm interested to know what's your favorite music right now? Your favorite song right now?
Favorite song right now? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you one of my favorite albums of all time if you're
What?
interested. Wyclef Jean's The Carnival.
Oh, no, I know that.
That is good.
That's a classic.
That is good.
It's one of my
That's
favorite
classic.
albums of all time.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
period, hands down.
All right.
But I don't know my favorite song right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get inspiration from other artists?
Yeah. all the
Always,
time.
right?
Yeah, it's a lot of. I listen to guys. I listen to some music. Like just listening to music doesn't like always inspire me. Like it'll be some random off kilter song. I'm like, oh, I want to write right now. Just listening, like a lot of stuff that comes out now, it just feels like copy paste stuff. It's not fun for me. But I was listening to a dude on the way here, Aha Gazelle. He dropped a new record. That was dope. That really inspired me. And but honestly, just I get inspired from what a lot of guys are saying that I really disagree with to write something to combat the thought that they're putting out there. Like if they write something that's, I think, degrading or destructive, I want to put out something that's uplifting and going to help somebody out.
I like
Somebody's
that.
writing, I'm, depressed and there's no hope and I hate life or whatever. I want to write something like, bro, I know where you're coming from. I know you're feeling, but here's
Rise
some hope.
up.
Here's
Yep.
some life. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
that inspires, hearing the stuff I don't want out there inspires me to write more than hearing the stuff I do want out there.
Okay. General Chicken.
She's still there.
I'm going to put a bag on your desk.
No, you're not.
Just one piece.
No, why?
Because it's delicious.
No, it is not.
You've
There's
never,
no
you don't even know
way.
what it is.
You're exactly right for a reason.
But you don't know it's not
For a
delicious.
reason.
You put beaks in your collards, but won't put in your chicken.
All right. So
General
go to PF Chain and then that way you will feel bad. Because I don't get it from gas station. Like, do you eat
But the
chicken at
way
all?
you just the Royal Farms and the
Those
it's
are two different
delicious.
things.
Bleeding gums.
Two different things. I didn't say anything about bleeding gum. That's him. Right? But nah. One time. But no, I'm telling you, just one piece. And it's good. It's got this nice little sweet sauce on it. It's crispy, got a little rice. It's really good.
Interesting.
Try it, man, one time.
All right.
Right after a workout.
Before the workout. All right, guys. We've got to end it, man. Thank you so much. Seriously.
having me.
We got to do this again. Love talking to you. This was good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I will say there's a lot to unpack in here. This is
Yes.
not a show just to listen to us talk.
Right.
There's a lot of things to take home with you,
Things to think
bring
about.
to your reps, talk about, train with, and things like that. Episode 20.
That's dope.
Yes.
We got 2 more episodes before the
Really?
year's out. We got a live episode in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to attend.
You got
And then we've
before the
got
year's
one
out?
next week.
You should do-
January 21st.
Oh, that one's in
to
January.
24th.
That'll be our kickoff show then.
You should
for
do
season
3
3.
episodes before the year's out. So you have 23 and 23.
Ooh.
You write your book, I'll do that.
I like that.
It's
Oh.
coming.
God.
It's coming. I can't write my book by the end of the year.
You
can
got
do
it
that
all
by the end
down
of
though.
the year. I will
You
write
know
my
what
book.
I would love, honestly? I would read this, and I don't read. You know this. If you take your lyrics, is it bars or lyrics? Is it like
Yes.
All right, fine. You take your lyrics and then present a narrative of what those lyrics meant
Explain
to
them.
you and why you did it.
I love it.
I do that a lot. Like I won't tell you who it is, but I'll look back and find out why he writes, because he writes. Big Sean I really like. I like some of the stuff he writes.
Sean's
I
great.
just the way he forms words together for impact. I just like how he does it. But it's interesting to see where he gets why he writes from.
Yeah.
And I think that would be very cool.
I've been thinking about doing breakdowns, so I really appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about videos.
You know, we were going to do a show. I've got a couple friends that do some stuff, and we were going to have people come on, and they were going to kind of spit a couple of their bars, and they were going to talk about it on the show, what it means to them, and kind of chat about it.
Oh, nice.
As a group.
Bring me
we were
on.
thinking about doing that.
I'll do
I
that.
still think we should do
I
that.
think we should
Yeah.
too. We can have some bars, Charlie.
Oh, I got some bars. You have no idea.
We definitely have bars.
Can Paulette and I get one of your videos in the background?
Of course you can, bro. You,
Come on, man.
you said gangstar like it's. I'm
She
done.
comes to my office in the morning.
I'm done after that. I had no idea.
I had some Craig Mack this morning. You didn't recognize
I
it.
did.
You did
I
then?
did. Yes,
you
I
weren't in the
did.
mood for it.
Yes, I
was
did.
trying to put something in your ear. All right, guys. That's our show.
It's a mess,
Paulette,
guys.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Charlie. Good job.
My man, seriously, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thanks for having me.
Follow this guy. Be on the lookout for more stuff. And please give us your input. What do you want to hear? What do you want to see? We got a live audience, so we do need questions from that.
Yes.
And we are going to bring some of you up on the couch too.
What's
So
your
be
friend's
ready
name
for
works
that.
out?
Katrina.
Katrina, CC Charlie.
CC
Thank you.
Charlie.
Thank
Happy
you. See
Charlie.
that?
I'm here to help.
Now you got to listen to the whole thing to hear that.
Here to help.
All right, guys. We'll see you when we see you. Thank you.
Bye, guys.